Good morning, welcome to day 12 of my 7-week slimming challenge. There was no video yesterday. Those of you that are reading the blog on my website will have seen that I decided to take a day off. I was feeling a little bit achy and tired yesterday morning, so I decided that I would give myself a day off from doing the exercises, and it was a Sunday, so why not have a day off altogether. So I'm back today talking to you from my exercise room. I've just done the 3 exercise videos that I've been talking about over the last few days. I've decided to do the cardio one first. To be honest, that's the one I'm finding the most challenging, and so I kind of wanted to get it out the way really. But I'm pleased to say this morning I did it much better than I did the last few times. I think it's helping that I'm learning what's coming, I'm learning the routine, I'm learning what I need to do. And obviously my body's getting more used to it, so I feel good for doing that. And then I did the arms and finally the abs one. I like to do the same exercise routines. I know some people like to vary it about, and I think that's purely personal choice. For me, I like to do the same routine because of what I've just said about being familiar with it and knowing what I'm going to be doing. But also I like to see my progress as I can do more and as I can push myself more as time goes on. So that's my personal choice. I keep doing the same videos until I get a bit bored with them, or I feel stale, or I just find something new that I want to try. So the exercise went well today, I'm pleased with that. A couple of things I thought about yesterday that I wanted to share with you guys. The first one is that having been doing this for nearly 2 weeks now, I'm back at what I would call my normal body size. So before I started this challenge, I'd obviously put a few pounds on because my clothes were feeling tight, and I just could feel that extra bit. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when you sort of find bits of flesh where you're not used to finding bits of flesh. So I'm reasonably confident in my mind that I've lost those now, and I'm back to what I would regard as normal. My clothes are certainly starting to feel looser, and I'm definitely getting more toned. So I'm really pleased with all of that. But the reason it's relevant is because what I'm really finding from doing these daily updates with you guys is that the updates are making me accountable. Certainly it's keeping me focused, because I'm thinking, right, okay, what do I want to share on the video? What's happened? What have I learned that might be useful for you, or what am I doing that might be useful for you? But just from knowing that I'm going to be reporting, it's stopping me from doing anything that I wouldn't want to talk about. And actually it's certainly making this journey much easier for me. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday afternoon, given that I was already sort of thinking, okay, I'm back to normal, I've lost the extra bit, I was feeling a bit low yesterday afternoon. I had a couple of things that upset me and my energy was low, and I did have a thought flash through my mind around, okay, just eat something, treat yourself, eat something. And almost as quickly as it came, it went away again. It was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep going, and I want to be strong, and I want to see how far I can take this, because whilst I'm happy with my body, I'm happy with the shape that it's in, I think I can do better. I think that I could be really toned. I think that I could really be a lot more supple and a lot more flexible, but I just think there's more that I can do that will look better, and I want to see how far I can take this. So I'm certainly going to keep going, but I think I'd underestimated the importance of accountability for me prior to starting this challenge. Well, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory actually. When I was in my teens and my early to mid 20s, I was a little bit overweight. It started off, I don't know, maybe half a stone, 10 pounds, and of course I obsessed about it, and that resulted in me overeating and actually putting on more weight, and I settled at about 1.5 to 2 stone overweight, where I stayed probably certainly 5 years, maybe 10 years. It was in my late 20s that I actually kind of joined the dots together and figured out what I needed to do to lose it, and I did lose it for good, and settled at a weight that was around about 9 stone 3, which is good for me. But because I was still weighing myself then, I would get obsessive about it, and I'd sometimes go up over to maybe, sort of 9 stone 10 maybe, half a stone overweight. Occasionally I got down to about 9 stone. I can't recall ever being below it. except for when I've been ill. And in the end, that's when I just decided I want to stop weighing myself, because I'm getting too obsessed about this, and it's not good for me. It's doing me more harm than good. So I just stopped weighing myself and just learned to go by the feel, and by how I was feeling and by how my clothes were feeling, and just getting back in touch with my body again, and that's worked well for me. So really, it's been about 25 years since I've had a weight problem. But what I've done is, as all of us, my size does fluctuate. I do have good days, I do have bad days, I have slim days, I have fat days. And when I feel like I need to cut down a bit, I do. And, I'll go with it for however long I feel is right. Sometimes I have a certain sort of time in my mind, but normally there's either an event that throws me off, or I think, I've done enough now, that'll do. Which is the stage that I'm at now. But because of doing these daily updates for 7 weeks and being accountable for it, I'm going to keep going. So whereas if I hadn't started this video diary, I'd probably be thinking, oh well, maybe have some oatcakes now or something like that. I'm thinking, no, I really want to keep going. I really want to do this. I haven't had any particular challenges. I haven't had any reason not to continue. So I'm going to keep on. Now, you wouldn't think that would surprise me, because when I first set up my own business, I used to offer personal coaching, and my specialist area was to work with ladies who were finding it difficult to lose weight. And we all agreed at the time that it was having the accountability to me as the coach and the focus that helped them to keep with diets that they'd tried before, or using strategies that they'd tried before but had given up on. And the reason they'd given up was because there was no accountability. You can always put it off, you can always do it later, you can always start again next week. Whereas when you're accountable to somebody, you can't. So you would think that this wouldn't come as a big surprise to me, as it has. And I'm really quite taken aback by the difference that it's making. So I thought I'd share that with you, because if you're in a situation where you want to do it, you know what to do, but for some reason you do find you keep putting it off. And I think that's quite easy to do in lockdown as well, if you're somebody at the moment who's not seeing people particularly much. If you're at home and you're not going out and about, you're not putting your nice clothes on and things like that, it's easy to think, oh well, I'll do it later. But today, I think the first of the lockdown measures are starting to ease. We've got an end in sight. So now is actually a really, really good time to do as I have and say, okay, I want to come out of this looking and feeling really, really good. I want to wow people with how great I look when I come out of it. And finding a way to make yourself accountable. So whether you choose to do your own sort of video diary, or to find a coach or a club or somebody to work with. But it's the thing that at the moment is making the most difference. The exercise is making the difference to how I feel about the progress. I'm finding that every now and again I just get a little bit hungry. If it's coming up towards a meal time, maybe an hour or so before I'm due to eat, I'm maybe feeling a little bit hungry and my energy levels are dropping a little bit. So I just keep going until it is the meal time, and then I'm fine again. But that tells me I'm kind of on the edge of eating as little as I can. I don't think it would be right for me to reduce what I'm eating anymore. So it's the exercise that I need to do to make the difference in terms of burning up calories and doing the toning that's so important to me. So that's one of the key things that's working for me at the moment, but the other is the accountability. So that's my thoughts for today. I hope that's useful. Certainly, as I say, I'm surprised by the difference that it's made, having the focus and the accountability from doing the daily updates. So maybe that's something for you to ever think about if you're, if you're wanting to set yourself a slimming challenge. I don't know, just a case of finding what's right for all of us. So that's me for today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.